Hey YouTube, my name is Sven. Welcome to the Metal Foundry. I'm sitting here in very good company today because nobody less than Franky the Smet-Van Damme from Channel Zero. For the guys out of Belgium who don't know Channel Zero, you should be ashamed. You should check them out because they're, for me at least, one of my biggest influences, and I've also always seen them a bit like, yeah, they make me think of the Belgian Metallica.
Aye. Yes.
So,
so
how are you doing?
I must be not Lars.
No, you're taller.
Okay, boy.
Cool. Hey, Franky's here today to tell us a little bit more about his story and about his hobby that ran right out of hand, actually.
Yes.
We are Belgians are known for our love for beer. We also believe and know that our beer is better. We are probably the best beer in the world.
Probably.
Probably. Most definitely. So, yeah, Franky, tell us a bit more about yourself.
Well, I'm Franky the Smet-Van Damme, Channel Zero, of course, singing in that band. 4 years ago I started my own beer, which was actually a kind of a coincidence moment in my life where I jumped on it, and I think since 6-7 months we're busy making the real thing.
Right.
The play time is over. So I'm heavily into my beer at this moment. So it's so heavy that at times I forget to sing.
All
I
right.
know that not everybody likes that, but I'm telling it anyway. But next year in 23 we'll be back with Channel Zero. You will see the AB shows and quite some festivals. So, but this year 22. The beer thing is fully on.
Yes. Hey, where actually, from where do you have the idea of starting a beer? Because it's like a complete different thing from metal music, isn't it, for you? Or is there some link?
There is, in my opinion, there's a link, because if you would take the beer out of a metal or a rock festival, technically speaking, there would be no festival. All these musicians, they think they're coming for the bands. Forget it. They're actually, everybody comes to have a good time, have a good beer, and of course, if the music is cool, then they will be there. But so there is a link. Festivals everywhere on the world, there is a match with beer. So that actually is something that, of course, I knew through time, because there is no festival without a beer on a festival. Somebody made a beer. It's called Black Fuel.
Yeah.
And the funny part was at a certain moment, some fans of Channel Zero bought the beer, Black Fuel, and they were posting pictures and sending it to us. Yeah, we found your beer. Well, amazing. And we were like, we have no beer. Channel Zero has no beer. And but the thing was, the guy was using Black Fuel, and it was a stoutish beer, a dark stoutish beer, pretty heavy fuelish black fuel, you know. And I instantly had a thing like, damn, that's a fucking good idea. So the trigger actually came off that event, and so yeah, I was. It actually took some time. It was not that the week after I had the full setup fixed. It was like, it's typical in my brain when stuff like that happens. So I got a phone number of a brewery and started talking to them, but I think this was already almost a year later, as a figure of speaking, and then we did even again another year on finding which beer are you going to start with. So, and in Belgium, we, back in the days, because I'm an old rocker, you know, so he's the younger generation, I'm the older generation. Back in the days, we were all, when we were going out, we all were drinking a pint with a slash of Coca-Cola inside. So that was called the Mazout, like a diesel beer.
Diesel fuel, yeah. And
everybody was drinking that. So in first instance, that was my idea. Like, I want to recreate the diesel beer kind of thing. And it took quite some time because, of course, brewing, I'm not a brewer, let's put it straight up. But I have maybe the idea to go for stuff. And so we worked out with the brewery on that concept. And yeah, that was my first beer. I think 1 year later, finally, the first Turbo Noir was out.
Nice.
And so that's how it actually started. But I'm thinking on being creative with concepts, and yeah, the whole turbo thing was for me something that at a certain moment it felt like a puzzle altogether. And turbo, I'm you know, I'm somebody who is also very active.
Yeah.
Always been. And I wanted to have something that related with me, with my thinking, with my. I'm always busy with too much stuff at the same time. That's called chaos.
Sounds familiar.
So I could have called it chaos, but maybe somebody would have said, "Well, chaos beer. What is it going to do with me?" So turbo was a perfect fit, and also turbo with EAU.
Yeah,
at the
like
end.
the French word for water.
Yeah. Voilà. So the thing is, the EAU was especially because otherwise I couldn't register it. This beer is already patented in the visuals, logo, name branding is patented in 65 countries. So I tend to do stuff directly all the way.
Nice.
Not 50-50. So voilà, this is and also maybe a small introduction. The IPA, 6.5, a mild IPA. Very drinkable in the sense you can drink a couple of them and you'll get drunk for sure. The blonde one is 7.5 degrees. So yeah, it's also a mild blonde beer. Also a kind of made to, let's say, I want it to be different. The only difficulty with blonde beer at these days is there are 75,000 competition beers on the market. So how do you jump out of it? So I decided to have not so much a choice, because otherwise you lean closely to other blonde beers. So funny enough, it jumps out of it in taste. It's mild and it gets you drunk very easily. So that's also very important. Don't forget. And then the white. This is a Belgian white beer, but bitter.
Yeah.
And it's like the Hoegaarden, but of course with lots more power and bitterness inside.
With an extra punch.
With an extra punch.
Yeah.
And then the Turbo Noir, that's the first one. That's we actually remade it a little bit, and this is a sweet beer, but it can be very dangerous. I mean, when the dragon tail wakes up, ooh, I'm telling you, damage is on its way. So believe it or not, that's the 4 turbo beers, and yeah, we're even working on some couple of more things. So
you see a can.
This the white beer is in cans already. It was made specially for Japan.
Okay.
I'm not kidding you. That's the reality for it. I think in 1 month you will find it in Japanese train stations in the kiosks.
Nice.
So yeah, that's in a very quick roundup. The whole thing.
But before you made beer, you're also you're still active in the band Channel Zero. Think I discovered Channel Zero when I was studying, when I was I think around the year 2000, 2002, 3 and 4, and I discovered Black Fuel and I was blown away, and then all of a sudden I realized, they quit. Until a couple of years after that, 2010,
all of a sudden,
the Facebook group and all that started out.
Well, the thing was, there was a lot of people. I mean, there was quite some. We had moments where people were, you should do a reunion, and but the timing, the momentum, life goes on. I was working meanwhile as PA system, selling stuff, Genelec speakers. So I was doing jobs to get through life, of course, as everybody, and then all of a sudden the Facebook thing happened. I think it was also in the moment where Facebook was like super hip. Now it's like super dip or something like that. Don't tell nobody, especially not on Facebook. But the thing is, at that moment, that was the platform where everybody was joining, was on it, where there was a lot of movement. And I think in three weeks' time, there was 35,000 people jumping on that Facebook group to ask for a reunion. And funny enough, I met our manager at that time because I was doing a demo system in Brussels in the Cirque Royal and I met him at a show. I said, "Come over to the show," and he convinced me to do it. He said, "Look, you have to make it technically presentable. It has to be okay, and because I was like, look, I want to do it, but I don't want to have the hassle of it.
Yeah.
Typical old band reaction, like, okay, we still want to rock and roll, but first of all, we want to make a living of it, because in the 90s we actually had a really hard time to make that thing work, because the investments in the productions were extremely heavy. People don't always realize that when you choose for production systems, nowadays it's all on laptop. Back in the days, in 1995, I remember we had, I think, one of the first websites in Belgium also. So we were a little bit ahead of time. I'm not even exaggerating. That was, of course, the old style website that you had to load in with the typical, your connection had to connect, and then the whole, I mean, nowadays it seems like prehistoric dinosaur stuff, but back in the days we were already there a little bit. So, but the thing is, we want to do it, but do it good, and also in a way that I was like, look, I'm having my job, I can't start making a lot of whatever thinking about it. We choose what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it, and it actually happened. And of course, we're gonna do one show. One show.
And then another one.
12 years later, we're still doing that one show. So sometimes if it's not planned, it's the best plan. So
yeah, and then because you started out again in 2010, I can imagine a lot of things have changed in the music industry between 97 and 2010. What's the biggest change according to you?
The biggest change, I think, the advantage of internet by 2010 started to show up as maybe a little bit of disadvantage, I think. I'm not saying that the download thing was the thing that all killed it, because the download thing was something that took away the security of a band. When you were selling a product, all of a sudden it got out on an email and it slipped out and it was gone.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't grab it anymore, and lawfully nobody showed up to help the industry technically. I think it also was the reason why, because technology was going faster than reality.
Yeah.
In acceptance, in losing a model, which is typically for all kinds of brands of industries. I mean, there are moments where industries completely shift. I completely get that, and I believe in that. So I think that's the big change. The physical selling all of a sudden turns into, now you almost have to have views and ads on your video clips.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, somewhere I think that's a little bit, if it would not be like that, people could, in my opinion, younger bands, try to position, younger bands, in my opinion, have now way more difficulties to get out there, while at the same time you post something on your profile, even if you're in fucking Japan or Argentina with your band. But the thing is, there are a zillion bands out there to compete. So how do you get noticed? It's really hard. So that's also a thing that is, internet has its advantages, but also shows up with a lot of disadvantages. And now it's like we're with a zillion musicians online, and I mean, if you don't burn a building or kill your dog, nobody, I mean, you know what I mean? I mean sometimes it's really hard to get to get noticed. And somewhere I still believe that bands like Nirvana, or maybe even Channel Zero, or so many bands in the 90s got discovered through the fact that they were doing something different, or on a different way, on a different scale, in a subgenre that was all of a sudden picked up by a label. That I was somebody that believed in the power of that thing, because I always believe that when you're with 10 people thinking about something, and you have the right people thinking about it, you get influences that push you in directions that you would have never done yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
the typical example is when a band chooses a single. Most of the time, the band loves 2 or 3 songs, and then the label comes up and they're like, we don't actually think that's a single, and they say, we know best what's our next best move, and blah blah blah. The typical B-side story, and I think a label sometimes, that's somebody who's sitting on a desk and tries to, how can we make this work thing, and I believe in that. I'm sorry, I'm not saying that it always has to be like that, but it's so there are developments. Labels are almost gone now. Huh? I mean, at this moment, the only challenge that you have as a band is that you have to be your own singer, your own merch seller, your own label guy, your own CEO label guy. You have to find the money to do it. It's and that's a shame, because I'm sure that talent that is still not in full expansion gets lost now.
Yeah, like they don't get the guidance that they would need from certain labels.
Yeah. So that's a pity. But okay, I don't want to complain. Absolutely not. Things evolve. I mean, you know, in the 50s, 60s was coal was the way how the world worked on energy wise. Yeah. Actually, still now, but let's not say it too loud, because we would disturb some people. But that there is an evolution, and that the coal mines actually got shut down somewhere, I get that. And in many other industries, also music industry, there's up and down and new ways of how it goes. And so that's evolution. That's evolution.
If you would be the knowledge that you have today, and you would be in my shoes, for example, how would you start a band? Would you even consider starting a band?
Ooh.
Difficult question.
Of course, I think I'm a little bit I know too much. I mean, I know too much. But if you passed the whole trip, and then I could definitely give tips.
Yeah.
But I could also say, like I'm just saying, I mean, it's hard to get out there and to really get on the surface, because radio is still important.
Yeah. In
my opinion. Okay, YouTube can be helpful. Spotify, playlists. But I'm not sure if I would say make a band instantly, because I know it's I think you still have. There's one thing that's similar, is you still have to be, in my opinion, crazy to go for it.
Yeah.
If you want to make it as a musician, believe it or not, it's heavy. It's I mean, I could say, like, it's like you're in front of the desert. And you have like a paper map with 3 lines on it and a cross, and there is the gold chamber. The only thing, they don't tell you how far the gold chamber is. It's like you go into the fucking desert and you're looking for water and survival and but your gold digger moment is really, you can't actually almost see it.
I can also.
And that's the same. I think that's the same. So, is that a reason not to do it? No. I mean, of course, because everything starts here. If you believe in it and you want to get there, I still believe that's possible. But the world goes fast.
Yeah.
So I think the disadvantage that younger musicians have is the world goes even faster than it was already going in the 90s when we were struggling.
Yeah.
So it's complicated, and also, in my opinion, I'm really sorry, almost everything has been done.
That's true.
I mean, I always say the first guitar player that really can surprise me, still, maybe he will have 8 fingers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he can do things that everybody's like, wow, how the fuck do you do that? So, I mean, I'm actually joking, but that's I can imagine that's complicated. I mean, how do you make yourself original with something that's been going on for 60 years,
Yeah.
70 years. Guitars are there. I mean, so it's so. And also vocals. Nowadays vocals are like, I mean, yeah. I just recently, yesterday, saw a program where you literally put in the chords, you put the words in your DAW, and
Yeah.
it sings for you.
Yeah. I've seen that shit. I've seen
Whoa.
that stuff already.
And I was like, there goes my job. or maybe I was thinking, can I use this live? Black fuel on the end. So I mean, but honestly, it will even go faster in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Because everybody who thinks that today is the day that evolution technically stops, forget it. I mean, I already saw a program that literally is capable of mixing two songs together, and then you can throw in Rammstein meets Nirvana or ABBA. I'm just saying, believe it or not, it comes out of it. The only thing is the words are not real words,
Yeah.
but the mashup is to a level of incredibleness. I'm not kidding you. So for everybody who thinks that it's not coming, I have to disappoint you. It will be faster there than you realize. By 2030, in my opinion, I think it will be possible to have like first instances of on iPads or computers that you ask a mix between whatever and it will come out. And I wouldn't be surprised that even the words will be correct. Or even if you put a lyric in,
Yeah.
that it will, it's out of hand.
It will make a song for you, like an AI.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
And you will be surprised what you will hear. I'm not even kidding you. It's already there, and it's in because I'm OpenAI. Maybe I'm technically always busy with all kinds of stuff, and I think I was the first in Belgium that got into the OpenAI community.
Yeah.
So I have a thing to experiment with the playground they made. And really, it's out of hand, completely out of hand. I mean, it brings things on the table where you have to put up your jaw to actually. You're like, whoa, what the hell?
What are we even doing here?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same with visuals. So yeah, I mean, OpenAI, maybe something to discover on the internet.
Yeah.
You never know what you're gonna find.
Remember, Franky said it here today.
Yeah, a box of chocolates. yeah, but I think it's there. It's already. I already saw it, so it's it's mind blowing. It's beyond imagination, and it, even if everybody says yeah, but that's not correct. Believe it or not, it will be there.
And what would be the first mix that you would choose? What would you like to hear? What kind of genre would come out of it?
My first mix I would do is I think something of Slayer that meets, I don't know, with Rammstein in my wet dream. But I mean, the raw sound of Slayer and the impact of a Rammstein song, but it could also be, you know, it could go anywhere actually. Even Channel Zero meets whatever. But it's believe it or not, it's coming, and it will blow away a lot of musicians. I'm sure that it will impact a lot of musicians in the sense that they're like, why would I even try?
Oh. Well, I think
I'm really sorry. For on image-wise, it's already there. It's called DALL-E.
Yeah.
If you look it up, DALL-E, it's mind-blowing. It creates images by prompts. You prompt something,
yeah,
and what you get is so completely out of control. Like, wow, that's what's going to happen with the music thing also. So I'm sorry. I think in 10 years. Everybody will make music on an iPad, and sometimes there will be kids that will produce stuff that you're like, yeah, but they didn't even wrote one note but it sounds good.
Yeah. But I think
it's coming. It's coming.
The AI thing, I think Lindemann made a video clip with completely with AI.
Yeah. So it's now it's literally in its baby shoes.
Okay.
And but it's the same thing like in '95 when we were making the website. We also had do we need an email address? I don't even know. It was in. We had an email address with the first provider that's now seen as a dinosaur thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, nowadays everybody Gmail and whatever, it's there. Of course, it's there. But believe it or not, it's going on a pace and a tempo. It's completely whoa, and I'm sorry, it will even go faster.
Okay.
And also, we're on the verge of a complete breakdown of centralization.
Yeah.
Now everybody is on Gmail or on Apple, on whatever. Give it 10 more years and most of the people will have their own servers completely secured. And the only thing is if you will lose your password, you will be fucked. So also telling up front, so keep your passwords safe.
Yes, absolutely.
Very, very important. But it's coming. It's coming. So the complete centralization. Fuck. Damn, my English. I need to talk more English. Mikey, where are you when I need you? The thing is, but it's going on a tempo, and it will be there for sure. I mean, of course, I'm not saying that we won't be able to make music or good music anymore. That's not what I'm saying. But there is kind of an evolution going on that's you can't stop it.
Nice.
There is no way.
Actually, the thing, I prepared a couple of questions before I would meet you today, and one of the questions would be if you could choose a supergroup, who would be in it? A band would you would like to see? You can choose a singer, you can choose a guitar player, drummer, whatever.
Well, a supergroup. My goodness. I think the only problem I have is that I'm the first thing that comes to mind are they're not living anymore.
That's okay. That's okay. You can even...
So I think Chris Cornell could be there. Lemmy could maybe do backings with Chris Cornell.
And on the
but
bass.
plays bass.
Nice.
On the drums. I think on the drums, Dave Lombardo. Dave Lombardo.
Yeah.
And on guitars, my goodness. On guitars, I would choose the Morello from Rage Against the Machine.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
I saw a project from him, Street Sweeper. From in LA and my god, but in my opinion, Morello is a guitar player, but he takes it to that. It all seems simple. His playing, his cutting, his tapping, his whatever.
Yeah.
I must say, when I saw him live, not with Rage Against the Machine, because I never saw Rage Against the Machine. When I saw that, I was like, my god, man, he's. I understand why Rage Against the Machine is Rage Against the Machine, because he has that catalyst power in that band. All the others are great too, but Street Sweeper, Sweeper, kind of showed me like, I was like, my god, that guy is a genius. He's not only playing guitar, but he's doing more than playing guitar, and he brings it on a way that it seems like a walk in the park. And he's like, and it doesn't stop. Where he has so many options, and he uses them. He uses them very wisely.
Yeah,
that's what I really appreciate on Morello's playing.
He goes a bit beyond the classic strumming and sons.
Yeah,
and interestingly, you said Chris Cornell, because they used to be with Audioslave.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'm a fan of Audioslave.
Have you met Chris Cornell?
Yes.
In Werchter?
In Werchter, I met him. I was like, my god, that guy's big.
Is he tall, really?
He's tall, yeah. I'm 1.80 meters, so I'm not small.
Yeah.
Too. But he was like, fuck, man. Jesus Christ, and you're singing it from that high. Jesus Christ, pose. I think Cornell kind of was one of my teachers in singing, because I never took singing lessons, and
no.
I mean, I did vocal coach. I did voice therapy.
Yeah.
Which helped me control my voice really good. I technically know extremely good how it works, how I can make it work. The funny thing is, I almost don't do any note tone.
No.
I know my height. Technically speaking, I could maybe go a little higher, but the question is, do you need it? Lower, you always have your register.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
actually, I can live with what I think I can do 2.5 octave easy.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm really happy with that. It's the timbre of my voice. I know that thing. And the how would I say, how I warm up is extremely critical, how I can use it. And it's a technical skill that I learned over 2 years time. It took me 6-7 months to really master it. And later on, I mean, over the 2 years, I did this in 2007, 2008, something like that. Ever since, I'm using the same warm-up. And it's crazy how it works. I mean, I can literally say, and everybody who's with me in that room or whatever, they literally, because I didn't warm up now, if I would do this, you will hear the sound of my voice get really,
all right,
like a speaker.
Yeah.
And that's actually what you do when you if you do these exercises correct, your whole system gets really relaxed.
Yeah.
And actually, by the fact that it's super relaxed, you get your speaker becomes in full action.
Yeah.
And that's where you have your power. But for me, it's almost like an addiction. If I can't do these warm-ups, people always ask me, "Yeah, you're never afraid to get on stage?" And I'm like, "No, why should I? I mean, I'm not counting everybody who's in front of me. I don't have time to count them."
Yeah. But you can go crazy. I think the highest, I think, is in Help. You go very high pitch.
Well, now, look, voila.
Oh,
A big fish in the throat.
Wat water hebben?
Yeah, some water.
So yeah, vocal techniques and what kind of, that's very interesting. Maybe we could do something in another video if we would ever have the time to, tips for vocalists and so on.
Yeah.
I'm more a guitar player. So you're planning on, are you planning on releasing new songs later in the year, or how are you going?
There are not much plans in the future, I mean near future. Because Mikey is in LA.
Okay.
I'm extremely busy with my beer. It is what it is. I cannot put this on hold because technically it's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. Even if a lot of people think that I'm watching Netflix every day, I know you. And I almost don't watch TV. I'm always 50 miles behind the new series that everybody likes. So that's you can't do everything at the same time. I'm a crazy YouTube watcher in many domains. Like you see the DALL-E, the OpenAI thing. That's stuff that I'm constantly following, pure out of interest. Softwares, it's a little bit less. I had my moments where I was extremely busy in Ableton. All kinds of techniques, Max for Life, the MX for Life 8, all the extras that are into that whole composition thing. Maybe some good tip is Ebo Suite.
Okay.
Ebo Suite, check it. Amsterdam company, they are amazing. They bring actually visuals into Ableton.
All right.
Fully controlled, fully filtered. That's one of my things that I'm using for my DJ sets, which I'm also doing in Ableton. So, and it's technically it's a lot of stuff, and it keeps going, it keeps evolving, updates that sometimes fuck up everything on your set before, but it's that's typical me. I'm busy with I don't watch TV, but I watch a lot of other stuff, and
she watched Channel Zero.
I watch Channel Zero, the channel, but it's actually channel 2 or 5 or channel whatever, because channel 0 was a porn channel.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they told us. We don't know. That thing we don't know anything about.
So now the band would be called Pornhub, maybe.
Yes, voila.
But you also have a DJ set, DJ Turbo.
Yeah.
So do you play recent music or do you play old school stuff?
Well, I actually make a mix-up of so many stuff. Which is almost, yeah, the thing is also, it's not to very high level that I'm DJing. If you're on a big stage, nobody can come and tell you what they want.
Yeah.
So that's easy.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want, but I'm not always sure that that's the way how it should be, because while playing in front of 50 people or 100 people or 20 people, you always get input of songs or moments that I'm like, oh fuck yeah, that song, and because there's so many songs, and most of the time I'm literally I'm into that moment now where I'm all actually downloading songs when I don't have them in my set, or because I'm not linked to Spotify thing or whatever. So I download, prep it while I'm playing.
Really? Where do you get them from? Do you buy them from online?
Yeah, well, what I find, because the thing is also sometimes people come up and my girlfriend wants to hear Madonna, and I'm like, yeah, no problem, which song? And then I'm looking for Madonna metal version.
Yeah.
And then I download something, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm playing Madonna.
Awesome.
And they're like, okay, yeah, you asked me to play Madonna, so I just put in 1 minute of fucking whatever. But I learned that in the end, whatever I'm playing is actually important and not important, but the thing is, the people have to enjoy themselves.
Awesome.
And that's my main goal. But I learned to be very flexible in that.
Yeah.
I can have my connection with the cell phone wherever I am, and in the beginning I was all stressed, like, my god, I'm busy with this, and then the next song is coming, how would I cut word there. At the same time you're like, oh my god, my internet connection doesn't work. I thought, no, I'm not gonna put it now. Yeah. So people, the funny part is, once they start seeing that, oh, we can ask that, and I don't have a problem, but the thing is, if they ask you 3 things at the same time, I'm like, oh, rah!
Yeah.
So I learned to manage the whole chaos thing, but like I said, my life is one rolling chaos thing, and that's how I will end. That's how I came to the planet, and that's how I'll get off the planet. That's what it is. So I'm used to doing crazy things at the same time. So, and that's cool. That's cool. I can live with it. But sometimes in the beginning I was stressy. Now it's like more okay. I kind of manage.
Nice. And what are your favorite discoveries in music this year in metal?
Well, the funny part is the guy who makes all the Doom.
You mean Mick Gordon?
Yes, indeed. It's I kind of like his vibe a lot, and you will ask me, why that thing? Because there's no vocals in it. Because the funny part is, if he would ask me to sing on his songs, I could easily.
Really?
It's so funny. I completely sense that metal vibe thing. I mean, yeah, I'm not making a solicitation, or I'm not saying that I want to sing on that thing. But the funny part is, it gives me that instant thing where I'm like, oh,
nice.
I could easily put some stuff on there that he probably would like. Awesome. So yeah, but you know, it's pure a vibe thing, and that's what I like on hearing new songs or new bands. Yeah, I'm really. Unfortunately, I hear a lot of new bands, and most of the time I'm like, and still it makes me think of this or that, and even make his songs. Of course, there are bands that are in similar ways, but I'm in metal. I'm in this thing so long that, you know, I love when new things really tickle me and it's like I say, if I have the vibe to sing on it, I will probably pick in on it easy.
Nice.
But that's personal vibes, so don't hope nobody's offended. Because there's so many good music out there, but the thing is, one does it trigger me mostly when I have like when I would be like singing over it like nothing, and also like his how would I say, the impact? It gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. The Doomslayer and so on. That kind of I know.
It's really wow when you put it on really big Genelecs.
Yeah.
Then it's like ooh, and then everybody says, yeah, but Genelec has no color in its side. Yeah, of course.
That's the idea.
When you actually can make that thing happen, when your goosebumps get out of a fucking Genelec, I'm telling you, you have real goosebumps.
Awesome.
And no, I'm not gonna mention the speakers. Goosebumps. Haha, that's the question, huh? Yeah. Which speakers do I actually mean that by voilà.
Yeah.
Think about.
Perfect. But it's awesome. I learned a lot of new stuff, and I'm sure the guys, the viewers, will learn lots of new stuff. Thank you very much, Franky, for coming here, man.
With pleasure. Thanks. Thanks. Voilà.
Let's do this again soon.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So this concludes my very first interview for the Metal Foundry. A big thanks to Franky the Smet-Van Damme to come over here all the way. It's been an absolute honor, and I look forward to see you again. If you like this video, guys, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like this kind of content, also let me know in the comments section. And let me know in the comments section what kind of other interviews you would like to see. If you like this content that I'm creating on this channel and you want to help me grow my channel, please subscribe and click the notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video, which will be every single 2 weeks, at least in the summer. And then from September onwards, I will go to my normal upload schedule. My name is Sven, you've been watching the Metal Foundry, and I'll see you in a future video. Bye!